Hello everyone. Today is our first Facebook Live session at NLETCC, that is Naresh Lakdawala Export Training and Consultancy Center. I am Hiral and a co-founder of Ladini Media. You can visit us on our website, that is www.ladinimedia.com. So today we will be discussing few related questions on import and export. As we all know, due to COVID, many people have lost their jobs and also looking for new opportunities. So we were surfing through internet and we came across this import export businesses. And we tried to know more about it. So why import and export is going good? Because India and China, these are only two countries in the entire world which has cheap labor, which means they can do more export. But now China has lost most of its business, so next comes India. So all these opportunities are coming to India. Also, the investments from China is moving from to the other countries. Recently, now I can say Samsung has moved from China to India. So we were going deep into it, studying import export. Here it is highly Google ranked training center, that is NLETCC by Naresh sir, Naresh Lakdawala sir. So we tried and found out more details on him, like how he started the training center, how it all started and everything. So his family business is into export since 1932. Then he later on joined the family business in 1968. And then later on, he was into the business. And then in 1996, he started his training center. And now it's been 25 years. So it's a lot of experience and knowledge. So we definitely thought of having a discussion with him. So let's start the discussion and welcome Mr. Naresh Lakdawala, sir.
Thank you, Hiral, and good evening to everybody. Yes,
Thank
Hiral,
you. Good evening.
good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you so much. So, sir, we were surfing on internet and on different platforms of import and export. So we have shortlisted few questions that are similar and recently and frequently asked. So, sir, we'll ask you few questions, try to cover up as much as we can. But before starting the actual questions, I would first like to ask, sir, what inspired you to start this training and consultancy center?
Yeah, it's a very good question. In fact, when I was having my own export business since 1968, and we call people for documentation and all that work, and they come from the
Hmm.
institute totally zero in that work. Like we used to tell that we are going to teach you, you pay, that was the thing. And then I decided when I get retired, then I will start import export training center consultancy.
Yes.
It will be so well trained practically that once they complete the course, they can immediately start export import business, or if they are looking for a job, easily can go for a job. And this is my experience. My students, when they go for a job, immediately they get a
Hmm.
job because they can answer everything. Now, these are the things.
Okay. So while you were working with your employees, that time you understood that it is better to train them and start this training and consultancy center.
Definitely, people who want, a person can work, properly. He relieve the boss, his focus will be on sales side. So definitely the people need experienced people. But then immediately from the institute you are coming, and in my case, I train them practically so they can immediately start job, no problem as such.
Okay. Sir, so if there are newcomers and why would you suggest them export? Why the newcomers should start export?
Honda is a car making, selling, is selling in the local market. I should ask same question to the Honda, why you are going into exports? The reason is that everybody wants to expand business. When it comes to
Right.
local, there is a small bill, small transaction. But when you are into the export about 200 countries, 195 countries, so you got a good opportunity for selling your goods, good volume, more profit. From zero to you can reach to like in crores turnover.
Yeah, so there is a lot of opportunity to earn money and expand the business.
True, true,
Yes.
true. That's right.
Sir, so when we start the export, we send the goods to the other countries. But there
Mhm.
is always a point where people are scared that what if the payment is not done by the buyer's party, or what if the party is bankrupted?
Yeah, see, I tell you, when we got independence in 1947, we got a surplus foreign currency. But in 1955-56, it was like going negative. And the reason is that the same question, people are a little scared to start export activities. And as you said, he doesn't make the payment, party doesn't know me, I doesn't know that party. So
Right,
possibilities are there, may even you lost the goods buyer also. The government has taken this very seriously, and in 1953 or 57, they started one insurance company called ECGC, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. They give a
okay.
guarantee for a payment. If the party fails to make the payment, they pay about 90%. So there is a backup from the government. So people are exporting.
Wow, so government is supporting if there is any such issues, government has all the schemes, insurance and everything. So it is good.
The government is three
Yes.
favorite people. One is the Kisan, one second is soldier, and the third is exporter. He's earning a lot of foreign currency. So that's the thing.
So, sir, now we come to the actual question. So, the question here is, if I'm exporting goods to a party A that is in USA, and party B is wanting to make the payment, which is also in USA, like how does it, is it allowed, like I'm supplying the goods to party A, but payment is going to be done by party B? So how does that work? Is it allowed?
First of all, I make it very clear you're exporting to USA, party A in USA, and consignment is going to USA, and payment is coming from B, from the same
Yes.
country. It's a big no. No, you can't do that. But then,
Okay.
yes, if the party has changed, like their constitution, may the company name is changed, that evidence you have that it's the same party, and then if the payment is coming from B, not a issue. Otherwise, big, big no, no.
Okay, so we shouldn't do that,
No, you
right?
should know.
Only if there is a collaboration between party A and B, only then we should take the payment from party B.
They
If
identify the same company, same partner, but only the name is changed, so that's not an issue.
yes, yes. Okay, sir. So it is said that in export, it is mandatory that you share the documents with the buyer through bank only, not directly to the buyer. So why is it that only through bank we should go?
There are some FEMA regulation that the Reserve Bank is a custodian, is very careful about the foreign currency. We are exporting, so we are getting foreign currency. Now the money is
Yes,
coming to the bank, very sure it's not coming to your house, right? So when we are sending
yes,
documents direct to the party, okay, and the payment is coming to the bank, bank is not aware against what they are getting the inward remittance. When you're sending the
right.
documents through your bank, is forwarded to another bank forwarded to the buyer, and the payment is coming in a that mode. So it is very clear that you have gotten the payment for that particular consignment. You can't send
Okay,
direct documents to the party, always to the
okay,
bank, but you are status holder like export house. Okay, there are 5 star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can send direct documents, or you can
okay,
100% advance money. I repeat, 100% advance money you can send direct
okay.
documents, otherwise no. But in this case also, the copies of the documents has to be given to the bank to make it clear they are already exported.
Okay, okay. So there are a few conditions that if only then only we should accept like send the documents to the buyer directly. Otherwise, it should be through the bank only.
If you are doing directly, it will be a big trouble to you. It's very, very big
Yes,
trouble to you. Okay, so never,
yes,
but two condition I say you can.
yes. So, sir, related to the bank, there is one more question that if I've exported my goods to the buyer and it is
Mhm.
exported, I have also received the payment, but I have also received a letter from Reserve Bank that this consignment is non-payment. So why? I have already received the payment, then why the bank is sending me this letter?
Let's take an example that I am based in Bombay and my head office you are handling in Ahmedabad. Somebody is buying goods from me and there are 10 invoices are there, 10
Yes,
bills are there. He is making payment for one bill. How would I know the
yes,
payment is made against that particular bill, right? Similarly, when you are exporting, the Reserve Bank is very careful. जितना value का माल गया उतना dollar आना चाहिए, and dollar is coming
correct.
to the our bank only. Now the system they
Okay,
have made it, the software they have made is that is export data process monitors. The link with
okay,
custom, your bank, DGFT, RBI. So when shipping the goods, the shipping bill is forwarded, like the details are forwarded to EDMS. The bank will download. So bank will come to know that somebody exported. But how about the payment? So what happened? It is your duty that you have to give it to the bank. Against that consignment, I have received the payment. So your shipping bill is settled. Otherwise, your
okay.
shipping will be open, and there is a question for Reserve Bank of India that you will be parcel list your, whatever the benefits given, you give it back, and your IC will be
Yes.
blocked. So mind well, each consignment wise, you must intimate your bank that you have got inward remittance against that particular shipping bill. So it will be settled very well. Otherwise, it will be pending. 9 months Reserve Bank will wait. Otherwise, there is a letter. Be careful about that.
Oh, so this is the thing that we should be really careful about.
Yeah.
If we are getting the payment, we should intimate the bank that I have received the payment.
So in many cases, being a consultant, I come across the people got the advance payment, ship the goods, and then letter is
Yes.
coming. The bank say, how would I know that you got advance payment against that consignment? So when you got advance payment, you when shipping the goods, just show that is advance payment against that consignment, so it is settled. So EDMS system, that is the export data processing system, is made it so transparent. Whether payment
Yes.
has come, Reserve Bank will come to know, DGF will come to know. So it's very important that each and every bill you have to settle with the bank that payment is issued.
Bank.
Otherwise, it will be open.
Right, right, right. So there is one term that is road tape scheme. What is that road tape scheme?
The REVTIP is a remission of duty, okay, on export product.
Yes.
Previously, what MEIS, Merchandise Export Incentive, and actually to coming to certain level, country cannot give export incentive. We are a member
Okay.
in a WTO, so we have come to such level the incentive should not be given. And this
Okay.
was raised by the USA, and he made a complaint to
Okay.
WTO that the Indian exporters are getting the incentive. Now, see,
Yes.
road tape is a remission of duty on export product. So there are some duties which is paid, which cannot be visible, which cannot be, you can show. Like, for example, your duty on
Mm.
electricity used for manufacturing, okay, the
Right.
Mandi tax, okay, then the transportation where the petrol, diesel use on that tax is paid. So there's a refund
Yes.
of duties and taxes, that road tape. So this week we are saying that we are getting refund of that. That's a road tape. So it's a new birth of MEIS is a road tape.
Okay. So, sir, can we claim this duty drawback with this help of this scheme, this road tape?
You can claim duty drawback, a refund of duties, custom duty, and road tapes are other taxes. So if you are going for road tape, you can claim, this duty drawback also. Now, not only that MES, they made a complaint, USA, but also for the other incentive which are getting advance authorization, export promotion
Okay.
capital goods, EOU, they raised the question. Now, this is not yet settled, but at least road tape is given and still advance
Right.
authorization going on.
Okay. So the duties which are indirect, we can claim those with the help
Yes,
of
sure,
this
you
road
can
tape
claim,
scheme.
and yes,
Yes.
drawback also.
Yes. So, sir, the next question is due to any reason, maybe it be a political reason. I have exported the goods, but the buyer is unable to receive or is unable to make the payment, and I want to take my goods back to India. So how can I get those goods back?
We see school when you are exported goods and re-importing the same goods, it's back to home. We call it in a normal case. Now, when you are
Okay.
exporting, lot of incentives are getting, like you said, road tape, MEIS, duty drawback. But
Yes.
because you are getting foreign currency, but in this case, what happened that you are getting back foreign currency are not issued. So when you
Right.
clear the goods from the custom, whatever the benefits are taken has to be given to the custom, like duty drawback. Now, MEIS is already issued. If it is not used, you surrender. It's a transferable, you know that. If it is already sold or use it, pay
Okay.
the equivalent amount of that MEIS plus interest, okay, to the
Okay.
custom, show the challan to the DGFT where the MEIS is given, and take a
Okay.
no incentive certificate, and then you can clear the goods. And whatever the incentives are paid, you are giving back. No, not a issue, not a problem.
Okay. So we don't have to worry about our goods getting back to India if we clear this, right?
Yes, yes, you can, but we have to pay all the incentives.
Incentives, yes, by paying all the incentives, yes. So, sir, I have seen many videos of export, but I have come across this one where it is necessary for us to go to the custom port visit. So, is it really necessary?
I think being a girl, any girl being an export, they would go to visit a port. To be very honest, I am in this line for about more than 50 years. I have never
Yes.
visited port. I just make it very clear. Suppose you have to deliver some documents from your place to some other place. It is about 40 kilometers away. You can go
Okay.
and you can deliver that document. Yes, you can do that. But instead of doing that, you prefer to send by courier because courier will be cheaper, time
Yes,
saving.
definitely.
So here also all the custom formalities will be done by CHA custom house agent because they are well
Right.
trained, they have the license, they know the custom act. कोई भी exporter custom में नहीं जाएगा, कोई भी नहीं. That is the work of CHA and that they are doing. No need to visit port. Just do your export, your focus on sell, increase the business, not delivering papers and all that. You don't do that. Similar, did not require to go to the port.
Okay. Okay. So there is no need and there is no necessary to go to the custom port visit. Right. There
Absolutely no
are
need.
other
No.
options also available.
See, there
Yes.
are three people involved in the export-import transaction. One in exporters, importers, and all the custom work is done by the custom house agent, CHA. They pick up the goods and do all that work. You are doing all that thing. Do you think you can do the business? No, no, no need to
Oh,
visit.
yes. So, sir, we thought of taking one question from our live session. I can see one comment here by Aisha Shah. It is, hello, sir. If I don't know what product and in which country to export, how can I start export?
There are three category in import and export. One category has like A is got a product like basmati rice. You want to export. Now his question will be like where to export. There are 195 countries. Definitely your target will be those countries where there is a good export turnover. Somebody got the contact in foreign countries. Like you said, my brother is in USA and both are interested to start some activities. So we will find the product which is going to USA. And the third category, as you say, that it doesn't have product and the country. So there is a
Huh.
DGF2 site where you can see country-wise product, product-wise country. So what you do if you don't have any product or contact, you just list down the product manufacturers or dealers, that is your relatives, friends, neighbors, like he's making agarbatti, he's making standard utensils. You can make the list of that and go to that site. Go to the SST. Oh, it's a good export turnover. Select that way. Merchant exporters are not making any product. It's like a traders buy from local
Yes.
market and exports. It doesn't need the need to have a product. Only thing you say a right source of getting the buyers contacts.
Right, right. So there is this platform DGFT site
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
people can get help to select which country and to get details of the products exporting and etc. That might help them, right?
See, that's what exactly the first chapter we teach you in our training center. Like, you suppose you got a product, so we ask
Yes.
them to visit on a DGFT GOV in. Then the banner will be there. You go for learn, and then you go for export data. Then you are going country-wise product, product-wise country. You can go that way.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, sir, I take one more question, please?
Sure.
There's this question from Gandharvika Shetty. I
Mm-hmm.
manufacture and export nut bolts. For
Mm-hmm.
that, I export rods and wires as raw material. Paying import duty is very costly for me. Please give any tips.
What is import-export barter system? Previously, what you have
Yes,
barter system, you got wheat, I got rice, we keep on exchanging. Same thing.
right,
None of the countries self-sufficient. That is definitely buying and selling each other. Now, see, in
right.
our case, labor is cheap, but certain raw material not available. Like take example of oil and petrol, we have to import. Now, when it comes to her question about he's making nut bolt and he required that wire and rod, there is an
Okay.
exempt policy under advance authorization. You can import that wire and rod without payment of duty, zero duty, zero, not even IGST. And she has
Yes,
to make the, this valves, sorry, nut and bolt to export. There is some time period.
right.
But there's a SION, that is standard input output norm. You have to see their export product is given against what are the input raw materials are there. You can easily go. You will definitely get success. Okay. You can go for advanced authorization.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. I think we have covered up few questions that we promised that we'll do. And thank you so much for joining and giving us your time and your precious knowledge to us. I hope this session has helped to the live viewers and also to the people who will view it later on. So, yes, so wait until the live session will come up. And till then, you can please follow Naresh Lakdawala sir on all the social media platforms. And also, if you have any questions and queries, please post in the comments below. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.